In just 180 days, 371 giant companies collapsed. Is this how Trump plans to make America great again? Have you ever seen cracks behind America's gleaming skyscrapers? The kind that remain hidden from the outside but silently eat away at the foundation within. Today's story is about those very cracks, slowly deepening in the world's most powerful economy. Imagine, where once the mere mention of a company's name could send the stock market soaring, today those same companies are shutting down one by one. In the last 180 days alone, 371 major U.S. companies have filed for bankruptcy. Yes, you heard that right, 371. And this figure is not just a statistic, it's a warning tremor of an economic earthquake that could shake the very foundation of Trump's promise to make America great again. Today, we'll dive deep into this topic. But before we begin, if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. Now, let's get started without any delay. The question isn't just why companies are shutting down, it's whether this is still the same America whose economy was once seen as a global role model. The U.S. national debt has now soared to $37 trillion. That number is so massive that even if you paid back $1 every second, it would still take you millions of years to repay it. And to reduce this colossal debt, the path chosen by President Donald Trump has now come under serious controversy: reciprocal tariffs. Reciprocal tariffs meaning retaliatory duties. Trump claimed that by imposing heavy taxes on imported goods, demand for domestically produced items would increase. This would strengthen local industries, boost employment, and raise government revenue through higher tax collections. But the reality on the ground tells a very different story. On one hand, these tariffs have hit foreign companies hard. But on the other, even domestic companies are collapsing under pressure. You might be shocked to know that in the first half of 2024, 335 companies filed for bankruptcy. But in the first 6 months of 2025, that number rose to 371. This is the most alarming trend in the past 15 years. In June alone, 63 companies filed for bankruptcy. In May, the number was 64. Is this just a coincidence, or is there a fundamental flaw in Trump's economic strategy? The industrial sector has taken the hardest hit in this crisis. 58 companies have been forced to shut down. Following that is the consumer discretionary sector, companies that thrive on customer preferences, where 50 firms have gone bankrupt. Shockingly, even the healthcare sector, considered essential, has seen 27 companies shut their doors. And these weren't small, insignificant firms. These were industry giants that once provided jobs to thousands and symbolized the American dream. So, is Trump's strategy completely failing? The answer isn't that simple. Trump argues that this is a long-term process and its benefits will take time to show. He claims that cheap goods coming from abroad hurt American factories. But according to experts, these tariffs have drastically increased companies' operating costs. Materials and technologies that were once imported at lower prices are now subject to heavy taxes, driving up production costs. And when costs rise, profits shrink. And when profits shrink, it becomes difficult for companies to pay salaries, invest in innovation, or expand operations. That's why the situation for many companies is going from bad to worse. On one hand, Trump chants "Make America Great Again," but on the other, that very America is now overwhelmed with pink slips and bankruptcy notices. In 2023, 324 companies filed for bankruptcy. In 2022, that number was 176. And now, at the very start of 2025, we've already broken all previous records. In fact, for the first time since 2010, such a large number of companies have shut down in just the first 6 months of the year. These numbers aren't just entries in economic reports, they are proof of a failing system, one that got entangled in policy debates but failed to understand ground realities. We must not forget that when a company shuts down, it leaves behind thousands of lost jobs, broken dreams, unpaid school fees, and families struggling to survive. Every bankrupt company causes a collapse in an entire ecosystem. Vendors, suppliers, distributors, and small traders all suffer the consequences. This issue is no longer limited to corporate boardrooms. It has reached every street and household in America. Experts agree that while the tariff policy has had some positive impact in certain areas, its scope is very limited. At a micro level, some manufacturing units have seen a slight boost, but major brands and corporate structures are crumbling under the weight of this policy. The bankruptcy of 27 companies in the healthcare sector alone is a warning sign that cannot be ignored. When hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, and health tech startups can't keep themselves afloat, imagine the impact on the average citizen's health. Economists say it's time for the government to explore new options. Slapping tariffs alone cannot make America great. The true strength of the U.S. has always been in its companies, its innovation, and the freedom of its entrepreneurs. But when those very companies start collapsing under pressure, the entire foundation begins to shake. And that is exactly what we are witnessing today. Trump's policy supporters argue that this is just a temporary phase, and that America will soon emerge stronger. Maybe that's true, but when company shutters are falling every day and hundreds of people are losing their jobs every week, public trust begins to erode. And when trust falls, it's not just the economy that shakes, but the very foundation of democracy. So the real question is, can America's future truly be secured by reciprocal tariffs alone? Has this policy really stopped foreign investment? Or is America unknowingly suffocating its own companies? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in between. But one thing is certain. If the government refuses to adjust its strategy even after 371 companies have gone under, the damage will only grow deeper. The world has always looked to America for inspiration, but now that same world is watching to see how well the U.S. lives up to its own economic promises. Make America Great Again is not just a slogan, it's a responsibility. And if hundreds of companies continue to shut down every 6 months, that responsibility could become too heavy to carry. What do you think? Is Trump's tariff policy moving in the right direction, or does America need a new path forward? Can a $37 trillion debt be reduced by tariffs alone, or is a complete economic revolution needed? These are no longer just questions for the White House. They've reached every dinner table in America.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources, news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.